They told me to never invest more than I could afford, but I did it anyway. And honestly, it was the best financial decision I ever made. This video is not about risky gambling. It's about intentionally stretching myself and forcing myself to level up. I'll show you exactly how investing more than I could afford pushed me into a new mindset and made me find a side hustle that helped me build real wealth. So, the reason I made this video is because, in my experience, most people do the opposite. They'll spend, they'll spend, they'll spend, and then they'll complain that they don't have enough money to invest. So, I did the inverse of that and I invested until I didn't have enough left to spend. Right? I found myself eating to eat ramen noodles. I was able to cover my bills, but really it was the food that was taking the hit. Trying to figure out what to eat, trying to stretch meals out. I'm making chicken breast. I'm eating half the chicken breast for lunch, the other half for dinner. And I was like, okay, this is kind of ridiculous. I have a good savings, I have a good investment, but obviously I don't want to dip into those things. So I needed to find a better way to keep my investment going because I definitely didn't want to cancel my reoccurring investments because I care about my financial future. So what do? I got a second job. I am in the military, but signed some paperwork so that I could get a side job. My first push for money was with Primerica. Some people call it a pyramid scheme. I call it multi-level marketing. I only did it for maybe 2.5, 3 months. I did enough work to get my sign-on bonus, which actually ended up being maybe around $1,000 in total. It's kind of spread out. And I sold some, what do you call those things? Security systems to myself. And I got like a free iPad and maybe two, three other $100 out of that. So not terrible, right? It was enough to help with a few things. But I quickly realized that was not for me. While I enjoy helping people get some life insurance and talk to people about the importance of money and saving and leaving money for, the next generation, I didn't like only being able to push certain products. Me as a financial coach, I like to look at all the products that are available and then tell you which ones I think are best for you and let you pick whatever you want, not have any biases towards anything, not feel obligated to where, since I work in this company, I can only push these products. Everything else I'm gonna just say is bad because that's not my model. I don't like that. You want term life insurance, you want whole life, do that. You want to invest in stocks, you want to invest in mutual funds, index funds, bonds, whatever, you do that. I want to just educate, let you know what all is available, and then have you pick from there. So I know I didn't want to do Primerica anymore, and I still needed the money so I could keep heavily investing so I can not work later on in life. So I thought about doing not DoorDash, maybe what's the other one? Uber. But I just don't like the idea of riding in a car with strangers over and over again. It just doesn't sit right with me. And I don't like driving that much to where I just want to do it all night. So I found out about Turo, which is a car rental app very similar to Airbnb, just with vehicles. And I was like, ooh, I could just give somebody my car. I stay at the house, take a nap, they'll bring it back. I'll wake up and I get paid. Perfect business model. So that's actually what pushed me to get into Turo, is because I needed some extra money because I was investing too much. So I did that. There's videos on here somewhere about me doing my Turo thing. I got up to 6 cars after 2 or 3 years, and right now I only have one of those vehicles left because I sold everything because I'm focused. Right, you got to be focused in your business on this financial literacy thing and pushing and making sure parents like you join Mammoth Money Academy so that we can raise up our teenagers to become financially literate and able to work through things on their own without needing our help. So, like I said, I started doing a Turo thing, and that kind of chained into me starting to do Airbnbs because through Turo, I met somebody who does Airbnbs, and that got me started on that. And through doing the Airbnb, I started looking for more properties, and that got me into flipping my first home. So I say all of this to say, me being intentional about investing pushed me to figure out other ways to make money outside of my 9 to 5 job, which then chained to me starting these other businesses that are now all give me income now and will take care of me later on after I'm, ready to retire. So, in closing, investing more than I could afford taught me how to afford more. It's just sometimes you have to be, what is it? Diamonds are created under pressure. Sometimes you need to put yourself under pressure so that you can let your diamondness show. Actually, put yourself under some heat. And it's like, okay, what will I do in this situation besides give up? Right? Because giving up is always an option. But if you do that, you stop your brain from working. If you take giving up out of the equation, all you have left is figuring it out. And you will figure it out if you give it enough time. I think the biggest problem with most people is you don't give it enough time. You just throw in the towel and say, that's why I don't invest. And then you would just stop. And that's why you're still stuck at where you're at in life, respectfully, super respectfully. Anyways, if you want to teach your teen how to live with this kind of mindset, you're interested in maybe upping your own mindset, one that builds wealth instead of excuses, click the link down in the description and come join Mammoth Money Academy. It's a community for parents. Me, I'm a parent, you're a parent, other parents. We're going to come together. We're going to work on our own financial literacy mentality. We're going to work on our own investments. But most of all, we're learning all this so that we can teach our teens. There's modules in there on how to teach your teen all these different things, how to get them into their first side business, how they can rack and stack their own money, how they can start investing. It's beautiful. Click the link, learn more about it. Thanks for watching.